Alright, so hey guys, hey. Okay, so I've had a few requests on talking about how to be a teacher, how to become a teacher. I'll just get right into it for you college students. There are two ways that you can become a teacher. Now, I actually was forced kind of to go into this field because I didn't want to go to medical school or pharmacy school, so I had no choice. So, I like teaching science, I really do, or biology, but I rather teach on a collegiate level, on a college level. But anyway, I'll stick with high school for now. But the first main way is, if you know that you're going to be a teacher, you need to definitely major in whatever you want to major in, and then your minor would definitely be education. So that's 6 classes that total 3/4 hours each. So for the total 18 hours, that's going to be in education. So make sure whatever you want to teach, if it's math, then you need to major in mathematics, and then your minor needs to be education. Now with me, my major was biology, my minor was chemistry, and technically it was psychology and then chemistry. I already had over probably 20 hours of chemistry anyway, so that automatically qualified me for that minor. But business was going to be my minor, but I dropped it last semester and I picked up psychology because I wanted to go into counseling. I still do, and that's what I'm pursuing. But now that will definitely enable you to teach. Now if you're just like me and you have a degree in a subject and you are able to teach it because of that extensive background, let's say in math or science, in my case, you can apply to a school district. I went through Teach Memphis. You can go through Teach whatever, or just Google your state's teaching programs, or Teach for America. Now they will hire you if like I said, you have good grades in all of your content classes. But I mean, you have a degree, so you clearly had to. I hope that you didn't transfer a whole bunch of D's and graduate with them for your major. So you become highly qualified, and that's how I became a teacher. It's a transitional period, which means that you have up to 3 years to get into a teacher's program, official program, to get a degree in teaching or complete basically certification. Now what was petty for my situation was that they were trying to really make me go to a master's program to get the same degree that it only took 6 classes to get, which is 18 hours. So I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for 36 hours $40,000 just to say that I have a plain master's degree, and that's not going to enable me to be like my mother's master's degree is in education, but it's in administration. So you mean to tell me she spent $40,000? I don't know how much she spent on her. She actually went to Harvard for some of her classes, but she has a master's degree and I have one, but hers enable her to go higher than mine. Do you think that I'm going to be a fool to do that? No. So I would recommend you guys to go to a post-baccalaureate program, which is basically post-graduation. It's basically a program that's designed just for those who don't want to get a master's degree, but just basically want the basic classes that you need to be a certified teacher, which are 18 hours, those same 6 classes. And you can do that through a post-baccalaureate program. And you'll get a certification. You'll get a certificate, first of all. That's the word, certificate. So, and I think that they have that in business as well, as like accounting and stuff like that, but I don't know about all of that. I just only dated somebody who's in accounting. So that's pretty much it, being a teacher. Now those classes are honestly pretty easy. You really have to have, well, I guess because I've already been a teacher and been in that program, it kind of was like I already knew it because I actually dealt with those students. But for someone who's fresh and doesn't have experience, I would recommend you to go to any school and just volunteer. Okay, so I changed outfits and everything because my memory card got full, so I had to empty it and go to the grocery store, get some groceries. So anyway, about lesson planning, you have to definitely consider the fact that everyone doesn't just learn one way. There's 3 different learning styles. They will teach you this in school when you go for teaching or whatever, but I just know this from being a student. You learn visually with your eyes, those that can see, your lessons through visual presentations like videos and stuff like that. I'm that type of person. If I see a video like on YouTube, then I'll learn better than versus hearing it, which is an auditory student who learns better by hearing you lecture. I'm the type, if you're boring, your tone is pretty much the same monotone, I'm gonna be like listening. Like I'm gonna be like out, zoned out. So I have to see, and I'm very kinesthetic. So the third type of learning styles are kinesthetic, where the students actually manipulate the stuff or whatever. You know, in science, clearly we have science labs, so that's better. Even with numbers, you can like do number games and stuff like that. In math or whatever, and reading, you can, I don't know, read a book. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you have to be creative with your lesson planning, and that will prepare you for better outcomes. Not just with the students, but I mean like with student behavior, and of course learning. And when you get graded, we have like a teacher's report card. It goes from 1 to 5. 5 is the best, 1 is the least. It's called evaluation. And well, ours in Memphis is called TEM, teacher evaluation methods. I think it's methods, whatever. But you know, your administrator will come in, or someone from the the board, they'll come in and they'll evaluate you. And it's based off of, you know, your lesson plan, whether they can tell from just being a student in your class, whether, you know, your guidelines for the classroom, your procedures, like, you know, whether they come in, sit down, sharpen pencils or whatever, your procedures are, your rules, everything. They're going to look at that, and they're definitely going to look at the lesson plan, whether it goes in depth. You can't just, today's kids, you're just not going to be able to just tell them to do something and they're just going to do it. You have to actually demonstrate and just go in depth, especially in high school. Now, middle school was actually harder as far as lesson planning, because you had certain tiers, because they were tested every year to pass to the next grade. So that state standard test had tiers, 1, 2, and 3. Tier 1 was like the least, you know, those that didn't learn as well. Tier 3 was like the top, I believe. So you had to plan your lesson plans based on those tiers, and you have to do what we call differentiation lesson plans, where maybe one group is doing this on the computer and it's interactive and it's suitable to their needs, you know, what deficiencies they have or whatever. And then you have the not saying smarter kids, because all kids are smart, they learn at different paces, but you have those that have a higher scores or academically more inclined on their own, working independently. And then let's say that you're with the second group and you're in the middle working with them because they need help. They're the types that can't really just work independently. They can, but they need somebody to come over and steady talk to them and steady, you know, encourage them. Maybe their behavior is terrible, so that's why they're easily distracted. You can come over and come talk to them like, hey, what are you doing? You know, making sure, are you okay, so are you there yet? You know. So anyway, that kind of thing, that's not really as hard, honestly. But as I was about to say, when my video had crashed, you don't have much time to really live as a teacher. That's the only downfall. It just depends on what you're doing. Whether early childhood, of course, because that's easy in my opinion. They're just kids. You don't have to, your schedule and everything is not as rigorous as a high school teacher and middle school, because it's just more that they demand from you, that the state demands from you. And you're preparing kids for college and high school, so you know it's on. But you do have more freedom in high school in the actual building. But as far as planning and doing labs and stuff like that, you definitely have to have that. So I would just say that I don't know. Other than those who are in college, for those who graduated like me, you can do a post-baccalaureate degree program where you just take those 6 classes and then you get a certificate. I almost said certification. That too, you get teacher certification, but you get certified for whatever grade levels, and you don't have to go back to school to get a master's, because it was so petty that my district tried to make me go get a master's. And I'm like, well, wait, my mother has a master's degree, she took a few Harvard classes or whatever, but her master's enables her to be a principal or an administrator, and mine only enables me to be a basic secondary teacher. I think not. And she paid, I don't know how much she paid, but let's say she paid $40K and I'm paying $40K, and she's up here and I get to only be here. Not at all. So I will not be getting a master's in teaching at all, ever, in education. Won't be. If I get a master's, it's going to be in what I started, family and marriage therapy. I'm just going to go finish my post-baccalaureate program for complete certification, because when you're doing the route that I didn't go in becoming a teacher. I had already had my biology degree, so I have all this background in biology and chemistry, so I'm qualified. I'm highly qualified to teach it, which is why most states will allow me to teach on a teacher's license, but it's transitional. I have a certain amount of time in order to be in, you know, this program to finish it in order to keep teaching and become a full certified teacher. You still get the full certified teacher pay, but you know, they just encourage you to go ahead and finish. Now, those are the two routes to becoming a teacher, the alternative route, and then, you know, just going ahead and preparing to be a teacher. If you're in college, I would definitely recommend you to minor in teaching education, because the job markets, even for those who are in business, you may be able to teach a business class and you might feel fulfilled just doing that. The business is, it's so competitive. Honest to God, everything is just so competitive nowadays. And I don't have anybody to take care of me. I'm independent, so I don't have, you know, my parents just pouring money into my pockets like that. I don't. So I had to get a salary. I had no other choice. I didn't have somebody to pay. My parents were not going to put me through medical school, and I just didn't have the money. So I was like, well, I didn't have child, we were divorced. He was broken away. Anyway, so like I said, I didn't have a support system like that to do that, and the programs that I would have gotten into were out of state. So who was going to pay my rent out of state? You know what I'm saying? While I'm in school for medical school and all that kind of stuff. You can't work full time at all, and I just couldn't do it. So it is what it is. I'm not sad about it. I actually like teaching science. I like it. I'd just rather teach anatomy and physiology versus biology, because I'm more interested in life science and teaching about the body parts and how they work than plants. You know, that's just my preference. But I do ultimately want to be a college teacher so that I can vacation more. Like, duh. Now, if YouTube pays me more, baby, I will be on here teaching. Like, if I need to do like a home tutoring session or program on here and get coins, I will, okay? Seriously, like, I'm thinking about teaching biology lessons on here just because my students understood it so well. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know. That's like, that's nice. But yeah, Tennessee State University, I had to plug my school. Other than that, okay, for those that are dealing with ghetto hood kids, basically that's what they call it, urban, whatever, you have to definitely engage with those students. You can't just treat them like the plague. You have to at least act like you're interested, act like you care about their personal lives. They'll end up confiding in you and telling you everything about their life stories. Honestly, you'll become a counselor, a friend, a teacher, a counselor, a therapist, everything. Like, a lawyer, a publicist, everything. Seriously, like, I had this one girl, she hated my guts. She just would not talk to me, and she just, I don't know, I thought she was just jealous because I looked like Barbie, and she was just like, not. So I'm just kidding, she's a cute little girl, but you know, she just used to give me the hard time and give me attitude, and I was just like, look, girl, you don't know me, but I'm gonna keep this paycheck because I need it. All right, so anyway, so she ended up crying in a corner, and I went to talk to her, and she ended up confiding in me, telling me her whole life story. The child was being raped at home by her mother's boyfriend. I had to report that at school. So these are the type of responsibilities, not just classroom teaching. You have to deal with the real world. And honestly, there's no way to prepare teachers out here. You just have to get in there and work. And you'll learn with experience how to get better, how to handle situations like that. I learned how to not fight I didn't fight them, but I almost did. I had to learn how to just like not say anything. Let them cuss me out, go off, and just go ahead and write them up while they cuss it. But see, with me, you're not going to walk up on me, baby. I don't care who you are, a child. I got so crunk to the point where I had to tell her mother, baby, if that student would have touched me, she'd have been on that floor. She was like, well, see, me and you would have been fighting. I said, well, we all would have been in this mug fighting. I said that in front of my assistant principal. Like, I did not care. And I kept that job, baby. Because they knew me. Everybody knew me. That child she just went ham. And she ended up being she calls me play mother to this day. Like, middle school kids have these highs and these lows where their hormones would just get them all over the place. And especially with boys. I've always had it rough with boys. It's never the girls that give me attitude. It's always the boys that I have to like be in their faces. Now, if you're white, I would not recommend that at all. If you're not hood, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm not telling you to be ghetto and hood, stuff like that to, you know, make kids mind. You just have to be very stern and strict. And those things just used to just pop out of me sometimes. Like, they would just call me Barbie and, oh my gosh, yo, she's a white girl. She's so proper. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Thank you. I'm educated. I'm supposed to act like that. And then when they made me mad, I was like, look now, you getting on my nerves, little boy. Dead serious, like, real talk. And they were like, wait a minute, she using all terms. Yeah, I know them. I've been doing them. We've been saying them, honey. What you saying? We've been saying those things. All these little slang terms, we've been saying that since, like, elementary school, like the 90s. Oh, so yeah, when that side pops out, they're just like, oh, okay, she look crazy. Let me like not try her. And I'm like, yeah, like don't. So anyway, I would just tell you to stand your ground. And I just got tired of the standardized tests and all that pressure. So that's why I'd rather be teaching on a college level, because I don't like, that stuff is so dumb to me. They give you these rubrics and then they give you the test and there's nothing on there that's the same. And it's just like, why do you do that? In middle school, it was the exact same, but in high school, whack. So yeah, the semester exams were fine because I was able to complete my own. But I don't like the standard tests. They irk my soul. And there's always stress about those. And the whole teacher evaluation thing, one of my evaluations was poor. I had like a 2, which is basically poor. It's not the poorest, but no, I think it was, it was a 2. One of them. I only had one that was a 2. The rest of them were 3s. And I was a fresh teacher, so. But it was like, yeah, the rest were 3s and 4s. But he just like, he came and gave me the first 4 or 3. And then he came right back the next class period, which was the worst class period. And it was just so much going on. I was like, why would you, like, you could have come back another time. Why would you do it back to back? That's not even really legal in the teacher world to do that. He just was doing it unofficially because he knew he was late and he was supposed to have had all those evaluations in. But I ain't sure because you can appeal anything. I didn't care. Whatever. He actually was my best principal. One of the best. Yes. But, yeah, I really love high school. I like high school better than middle school. Right now, I'm in a place where I want to be part-time. Like, I really just want to take a break from teaching because I just want to take a break. But something tells me I can't. So, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. I can't vlog myself at school because I don't want to endanger the students. I have had some pictures and stuff like that on my accounts. But, you know, that was after school or whatever. And most of them are of consenting age now, so you know, I don't know. But I may do like a classroom thing. It just depends. Maybe next year, but I don't know. I hate dealing with freshmen. I will say that. And that's what sucks about teaching biology here. It's a pretty much freshman course, and then it's pretty much spread out, but most of them are freshmen. And those are the ones that try you the most. I have no problems with any of my sophomores, juniors, and seniors. No problems. They absolutely love me. Everybody loves me, but it's like, you know, I have the most battles with the freshmen. Everybody does because they're fresh meat. They're new. They just play so much. Gosh. In middle school, they were so clingy. I was like, no, I do not feel like walking you to the bathroom. Why do you have to walk the whole class everywhere? That's stupid. In my middle school or junior high school, we went to, when the bell rang, we went to our own destinations. Like, we didn't even have the same schedule as everybody in our homeroom. I just don't understand it. They need to go back to that so that when they get to high school, they'll know how to act. Like, when they're used to being in a group in a freaking petting zoo, then they get to college and it's free. I mean, not college, but high school and it's all free game. They're looking like college freshmen. Like, oh my God, we don't have to go home. We don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just crazy. But hey, I'm not over the state of, you know, the Department of Education for the United States. So what do I know? But yeah, that's my advice. You guys can comment below for any other questions or anything like that, and any other recommendations on other videos that you want me to talk about. I wish you guys the best of luck in teaching. You can Google everything, Google all kind of lesson plans, but for middle school, you definitely have to make your own and just at least adjust them to your students' needs. You can't, everything won't be just made in the shade, but in high school, it can. Yes, it definitely will be made in the shade because you don't have to worry about tears. But you do want to be creative if you have the time. But like I said, teaching is like a full-time thing. You don't have time unless you're in the summer to go travel and do all this other stuff like I'm going to be doing soon. So that's why I'm setting myself up so that I can be self-made, self-employed all the way, and I can teach on YouTube, or I can just teach the Word of God. And that's ultimately for my life. I'm not talking about y'all, I'm talking about my life. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry about the change of clothing and everything, but yeah, I had to go. Like, the camera, it was like full. See you guys next time. Cause every time
Wishing we could read minds, don't wanna